What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles. Today I want to do a video on the 5 reasons why I think the Capital One Savor One is better for most people, including myself, than the American Express Gold Card. Simple enough. Before we get started, I talk about credit cards, points, miles, cash back, and travel. And if you are interested in that sort of stuff, consider subscribing. And I also want to preface the video with this. This is in no way bashing the American Express Gold Card. I maintain that the American Express Gold Card is the absolute best card to generate travel points, and there really is no one card that can replace it for some of you. With that said, this is 5 reasons why I prefer the Savor One. Reason number 1 is the most obvious reason, and I really wanted to just get it out of the way. The Capital One Savor One has no annual fee. So there are layers to this. The American Express Gold Card had an annual fee of $195. Then it was refreshed with a $250 annual fee. And now that fee has been raised to $325. Now, folks can quote the effective annual fee nonsense all they want, but to hold the Gold Card, you still have to pay American Express $325. Why is this a factor? Well, we've all heard the phrase, I would gladly pay X for X plus Y. And that makes sense for some people, but I think it's a little simplistic for this example. See, folks claiming value of X plus Y may not be seeing the details, but we will get more into that in another reason. For simplicity, I don't have to pay Capital One anything to hold this card. If I prefer to earn in a different currency, no big deal. I can put the card away in a drawer, nothing missed. If I want to work on a sub or 3, no worries. I don't have to use the card all the time to make sure that I'm getting value from it because it's free. Now, some of these reasons are absolutely going to overlap a bit, but don't judge me too harshly. The second reason is flexibility of spend. And this really piggybacks or flows off of reason number 1. See, I need to be able to spend where I want with the card I want. What I mean by this is the Gold Card, with its high earnings and high annual fee, means it has to be used for anyone to even pretend to get value from it. With the Savor One, not only can I take a break on using it, I don't have the pressure to make sure it's getting utilized. The flexibility comes from more categories. Obviously, the 2 big spending categories are still groceries and dining. And let's face it, no one is purchasing airfare with the Gold Card anyway. But the Savor One has streaming and entertainment. So when I go to the Bengals game, which by the way doesn't even accept American Express, I can use the Savor One because the concessions may code as entertainment or they may code as food. That might even sound weird, but if you've been to an NFL game, you also know you're definitely going to be spending. More flexibility? How about concerts and all your streaming services? And if you're scoring at home, Amex doesn't have a card that earns on entertainment. Oh, and you guys have heard me talk about grocery stores overseas. Well, the Gold Card won't earn overseas at those grocery stores, and there's a great chance it won't be accepted anyway. So far, guys, we have much less cost, well, no cost, and much more flexibility being worldwide and having more categories. Reason number 3, there is nothing to remember to get great value from this card. Stay in the credit fog, coin the phrase statement credit fatigue or statement credit burnout, and guess what? Amex has made it completely clear that its plan is to charge high annual fees and put the work back on you to reclaim value from it. No one, and I mean no one, is enjoying this as much as the folks that say, hey, I get great value organically. Okay, you have to spend in a certain way every month and possibly overpaying while doing so, just to try to recoup the $325. I heard a guy say, I haven't been to Dunkin' since 1999, but I can organically get that $7 monthly spend pretty easy. Wait, what? I don't have a problem working the system and playing the game, but let's be honest with each other. We would much rather be estimating the value of an airport lounge or a free hotel night than counting quarters every month. If you take Ubers often and you're someone that loves to overpay for your lunch, I totally get it. You'll probably get that value back, but is it really worth it? With the Savor One, all the work is put back on the card issuer. They need to make sure they're getting value because I'm getting 3 times every time I swipe. Reason number 4 might be a head scratcher, but I think it's the Capital One transfer partners. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince anyone that Capital One's partners are better than Amex's, because they just aren't. But here's the deal. They have what most folks need. Well, on the flight side anyway. This isn't a travel card, it's an earning card, which is why I think it's important to do without much thought. I will admit Capital One doesn't have great hotel partners. Wyndham, while being a great program, isn't a super good transfer partner, and with choice only being one-to-one, I don't recommend that either. But if you're willing to do some research, you may find some serious value with All Accor, especially since no one's talking about it. But guys, let's keep it real. Most of us have a core 4 or 5 partners that we transfer to get great value to Europe and Asia. And for me, Aeroplan, Avianca, Flying Blue, and at least one Avios program are going to do it for about 90% of my aspirational travel plans. I don't really put much effort or thought into domestic redemptions anymore, so cash or a portal is what I use for that. Reason number 5 is something that I don't know if any issuer can match right now, and that is the synergistic effect the Savor One has with the Capital One Venture X. And in my opinion, it's really unmatched. If you're thinking there is a better duo in the game, I think you're playing yourself. This duo, even if you don't want it as your primary setup, makes sense for just about anyone. And going back to that effective annual fee nonsense, this duo has one at 0. So this card can be part of a setup that you can pretty much just use as little or as much as you want. One more little bonus reason why I like the Capital One Savor One. Capital One rewards are earned quickly. What I mean by that is they appear in your account, whether as cash back or as miles, in just a few days. That might not be a big deal, but it is something that I actually really like. It's fun for me to see those little numbers add up. Guys, that is it for me. Again, I stand on the Amex Gold Card being an incredible earner, but I like the Savor One better. If you're interested in any of the cards I talked about in this video, especially with a really nice Amex Gold offer, check out my super cool organized card link in the description below. And if you stayed all the way to the end, I appreciate you. I thank every single one of you.